What's up, all you UFC chums and bums? It's your favorite predictor back for UFC 298, coming at all of us tomorrow, and I'm going to be breaking down the main card of the pay-per-view, and we're just going to go from here. We're going to start with the main card opener of Anthony Hernandez and Roman Kopylov. I forgot to start screen recording, even though I could just use a picture. I figured, never mind, whatever. It is what it is. All right. So we're starting off with Anthony Hernandez and Roman Kopylov. Funny enough, while I was looking at this, I just realized that Anthony Hernandez, who I'm picking, by the way, is the favorite. I thought he was the underdog due to the fact that Roman Kopylov, Russian Chase Hooper, is actually terrifying on the feet. He's super fun to watch on the feet. I just think that Anthony Hernandez is super hard to finish, and if you don't finish him, he's going to finish you, probably via just not slugging it out, but running. He runs through people recently, and I feel like he's just going to try to do the same to Roman Kopylov, and he's going to catch him in some type of submission. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm not counting Roman out at all. He's quite dangerous on the feet. All right, moving up the card, we have Merab Dvalishvili. I think that's how you pronounce it. I used to be a full-time hater, but I'm really coming around to him. My friends still hate him though, because he beat Peter Yan. He 50-45'd him. Versus the short man himself, Henry Cejudo. Should have retired after losing to Aljo like that. Really kind of pitiful performance from him. He just doesn't seem to have any of the drive for it anymore. Like, he seems to have the motivation, but not like the drive and the oomph that he had in his heyday, which I was never around to see live anyways. But I've got Merab by 30-27 decision here. I think it's pretty obvious. I actually think that due to the fact that it's a 3-rounder, doesn't give Henry enough time to adjust his game plan to counteract Merab, because I feel like Merab's gonna obviously he's gonna start early. He's gonna be moving forward. He's gonna be spamming failed takedowns. He's gonna be spamming punches at you. He's gonna be spamming kicks. He's just gonna keep plodding forward and just keep going at you. And if you don't finish him quickly, which I don't think Henry is, you're gonna fall behind on the scorecards against him. And then it being a 3-rounder, you're not going to be able to adjust mid-fight. Yeah, you're just not going to be able to adjust and maybe find your timing correctly and whatnot. He's just not going to have the time he needs to figure something out against Merab. And moving up the card, we have our featured welterweight bout of Geoff Neal versus the very infamous Garry here. Now, I'm still kind of undecided on this one, but I'm going Geoff Neal only because I do feel like it's very possible that Garry gets a Adesanya-esque decision, but I'm going Geoff Neal for the main fact that, one, I need him to win for my happiness and health and well-being. 2, Garry doesn't seem the most defensively sound. He tends to get hit. He even got tagged up by, I believe it was Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod. He got hit a couple times by him before he found that head kick KO. It was a head kick KO. No, it was a head kick that led to a nice TKO, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, so I didn't rewatch some fights. I've been busy, but Garry, super entertaining to watch. So is Geoff Neal. Geoff Neal, I think his boxing and his I just realized it's only a half-inch reach advantage. I thought it was a 3-inch reach advantage, but that's not going to be the biggest factor, I guess. I just think Geoff Neal's boxing is a little too crisp for Garry not to get caught, and we've seen him get caught before. He's been dropped, dominated that fight outside of getting dropped, but that's beside the point. You can't really afford to continue to get pieced up by Geoff Neal, and I think Geoff Neal's going to find a TKO late in the fight, while battering Ian around quite a bit, while sustaining quite a bit of damage to his head and maybe even torso, because he's got a really high guard. We'll see how it goes. And then moving up, we have our co-main event, which personally I think should have been Merab versus Henry, but I'm not the matchmaker. Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. This one's I'm going with Robert Whittaker. I think it's the logical pick, but I have a strong gut feeling leaning towards Paulo Costa. I just have a feeling that Paulo Costa's kicks, if he shows up like he did against Yoel, which is impossible for him to do because he shows up different in literally every fight. I've only seen this man fight live twice, and it was against Luke Rockhold. No, once. It was against Luke Rockhold. I didn't even see his fight versus Vittori. I wasn't around then. I wasn't watching it and having a good time. But I've only seen his fight against Luke Rockhold. He looked terrible. I've rewatched a lot of his fights back, and it just seems that if he doesn't feel like he's going to mop the floor with you, he kind of quits on himself, and he just like doesn't go for it like he should. Like he should have went after Vettori more, especially coming in 20 pounds overweight. He should have gone after Luke Rockhold for. I get it that I believe that one was in elevation, so they were both dead, exhausted. But Luke Rockhold ending that fight on top is not a good look. But I do feel like his kicks could be very punishing for someone like Whittaker, especially if Whittaker decides to move away from the blitz. I actually think the blitz would keep him safer in this fight because Paulo Costa's timing isn't like great from what I've seen. His timing just is kind of not very good. Plus, he's got a reach advantage. You could pop in, pop with the jab, double jab, move, get out of there, stinking go with his own body kicks and whatnot. Whittaker, I think Whittaker with a bouncy blitz style could absolutely demolish Paulo Costa to a decision or even late TKO, which is what I'm ultimately going to go with, a dominant decision by Robert Whittaker. But I am also worried in this fight that Paulo Costa might actually be able to get it done, but I cannot rely on Paulo Costa actually showing up for anything. All right. He hasn't even gotten the cage yet. We don't even know if this fight's actually happening. Moving up, we have our featherweight title fight for the main event. Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Ilya the Matador Topuria. Now, everyone's saying that Topuria's the man to get it done. Well, not everyone. A lot of people have been saying that Topuria is the man to get it done. He very well could be. I think this is stylistically one of the more dangerous matchups. Someone with a decent grappling game that's pretty good at getting back to their feet or even finding their own submission through scrambles and whatnot, like they did against Bryce Mitchell. I get it. Bryce Mitchell had the flu, I guess he said. He wasn't even recovered from the flu. He had just gone for it. And Bryce Mitchell also just got destroyed by Josh Emmett, which was terrifying to witness, who Ilya Topuria just simply outclassed on the feet. Josh Emmett's an ogre. He sucks. He throws the same combination step in over right hand or a jab step in over right hand the entire time. That's all he does in the entire fight. And Alexander Volkanovski, who I believe is going to win this by I'm going to go with a close decision. I feel like Ilya Topuria might drop Alex early in the early round, second round, something like that, before Alex is able to get his timing correctly, somewhat like against Yair Rodriguez. But Alex is going to be a little bit less takedown heavy because Ilya Topuria's grappling, I believe, is a bit more of a threat. Even if Bryce Mitchell gets on top of you and is able to control you for a bit, I think if you can ragdoll Bryce Mitchell at the end of the second round, even if he's exhausted, and then submit him like that in a quite brutal fashion, you might be able to put something together against Alex. I feel like I'm making a strong case for Topuria, something way stronger than I should be. But that being said, Alex by decision. I think he's going to win, I would say close decision, but probably edge out a majority of the rounds, like 40, 49, 46, something like that, 48, 47, but one of the rounds is close, contested. You could give it to either guy. I just feel like that Topuria might win one of the early two rounds via knockdown while continuing to get outlanded. I think he's going to get his leg chewed up. I think he's going to struggle to walk later in the fight. I think he's going to struggle to keep his balance later in the fight. He's going to get limited mobility. And then Alex is going to continue to just chip away at him. I think the ending of the fight will largely look like the third Max Holloway fight. And it will result in Ilya just being battered. All I can hope for. Let me know what you thought of the predictions. Let me know if you disagree, agree, what's going on. I don't know. And yeah, bye.